And welcome to the fourth episode of the Codex Podcast, everybody. I am your host, Jamie Wojcik, and with me, as always, is the Forbidden Cake himself, Sonny Kruger. How's it going, buddy?
Right here. Hey, guys. Going good. Ready for episode number 4 of the Codex Podcast.
Oh, buddy. But, yeah, if you didn't catch what we were just talking about previously on the pre-show, we were going over Vin Diesel memes and talking about some of our favorites. So if you guys want to hear that and, our potential updates coming up, go check out the pre-show at twitch.tv/Codex Podcast and follow, maybe, please. Dear God.
You should, because family.
Yeah, because family. Dom Toretto would definitely follow us if we just been like, we're family.
Yeah. One last ride.
What?
For how many episodes we have left?
One last stream.
One last ride. Yeah, one last stream.
All right. Yeah, so
okay.
Last week we had a big episode. So this week's going to be a lot shorter, I think. It's not going to be like an hour and what would it come out to? Like an hour and 20 minutes?
Yeah, almost an hour and a half, something like that.
Yeah, this week's going to be short. We do got some news, finally. So we're going to be going over that. Finally, I got a little bit of a surprise for Sonny. And then
I have a surprise for you too.
Yeah, so if you guys go check out the pre-show, Sonny always has to up me. I'm like, dude, I got a surprise for you this week. And he's like, I got one for you too now. It's just going to be like confetti blowing up behind him or something. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, one might say it's amazing.
Yeah, I think we got a great topic of the week too. If you guys haven't seen that, check all of our social medias from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I don't know what else we're on. Pretty soon, probably Snapchat. I think we're going to do that. TikTok. We're going to do TikTok. Want to do TikTok, Sonny? Or no? No? Okay.
Good. I mean, or dances, or, we may have to do our own Vin Diesel meme, but I don't know how TikTok would do it, though. One of us has to get a shotgun. One of us has to drive a car like 100 miles per hour.
Yeah. Sonny, that would not be you for the car. I'll tell you that right now.
So you get the car, I get the shotgun. I'm the one who knows how to handle the weapons, like in the video with the hatchet.
Yeah, you were totally aiming not straight at one point with it. So, and then also today we have 2 reviews going on. So Sonny gave me the Judas Contract from Teen Titans, and I gave Sonny DCeased. So we'll be going over those. A little bit changed. We've talked about in the pre-show a couple times now that after today's review, it's going to be Sonny giving me a book, and we're both going to review that same book. And then after we review that one, I'll give Sonny one, we'll review that one. That way it's not... We could focus more on one story than trying to go as quickly as possible to get through both of ours. We can actually put time and, actually sound like we know what we're talking about a little bit. So,
right.
It should be good.
And... Sorry to cut you off.
But,
in the pre-show, I kept saying that I came up with a plan to deal with all the lagging because it's getting on my nerves. And, I talk, and then it doesn't go with my mouth. So, my plan is this. There you go, my Spider-Man.
That should have been...
Spider-Man
That should have been put... You can still see your mouth move, though. That's the best part.
But a little bit. Hopefully not too much. Hopefully the lagging you can't be able to tell.
Okay, so...
Hopefully you won't be able to tell.
So we're doing the whole episode with Sonny and in his mask.
Spider-Man mask.
Oh, great.
Well, hopefully. You never know. It's like 90 degrees here. Oh, no. It's going down. Well, 82 for right now. And, the sun likes to shine right in my face during the episodes. So, if I get too hot, you may see me throw it off.
Oh, yeah. Take it off. So
I'm not taking it off. We gotta pay it. I'm not cheap.
Now that Sonny has cut me off as usual in every episode, we'll get it.
You got me a lot last week. when I watched it over.
I had to because I owed you.
But I'm supposed to be the one who cuts you off.
Yeah, I know. But
then when you do it to me, it's kind of rude when you do it to me.
I know people like that. It's fine.
Me.
You're just like the majority of the people in my life. Everything's right for you. So we're gonna break into some news for the week. First hot topic issue we had the passing of Richard Donner. For those of you who don't know, he is the man that made us believe a man could fly. Director of Superman, and I mean, I went through his list, Sonny. It was like Goonies, Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon. Yeah, Lethal Weapons.
There was just a laundry list of big movies this man has made. I don't follow directors that much. I don't know about you, Sonny. But the one thing when I did move up to Wisconsin, my uncle was like, "You gotta watch." He's not a big comic book fan. He doesn't really pay attention to any of that stuff. But he's like, "You gotta see Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut." I'm like, "You what?" And he's like, "Yeah. He released it so many years after the fact." And that was the first time I've actually seen that cut. And I mean, I've seen all the old Superman movies, but that one, I was like, okay, this guy, amazing. And then to see like everything else he did is just mind blowing. So it's a hard pass or hard passing for everything that's going on. Like one of the pioneers is now gone, and now we got Henry Cavill running around with the cape, I think still. I don't know, that he just basically made that world for us.
Yeah, especially since that was back in the 70s when you didn't see big superhero movies made. And, you know, if that original Superman wasn't so popular, who knows what would have happened if they ever would have really continued making superhero movies. And then, because of his passing, I was like, okay, let me look up and see some more things he's done. And like I said, yeah, how you saw the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2, because they said he filmed most of it, and then there was a falling out with the producers, and they completely took his name off of it. So it's good that, you know, many years later, they finally gave him his own cut. And then, like we said, the Goonies. And for those of you who don't know, the Goonies, Josh Brolin is in there, who happens to play two of my favorite Marvel characters, Cable and Thanos.
Yeah.
So there's a little something for the Goonies. And then, like we said, Lethal Weapon 1 through 4. And they also said before Superman, Richard Donner directed some episodes of some popular TV shows like The Twilight Zone, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and Gilligan's Island. So he worked his way up.
Yeah, I saw the Gilligan's Island thing, and I was like, really? You did that too? I was like, okay. I didn't know about The Man from U.N.C.L.E., though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, wish the best for the family that he had and left behind, but the man was a pioneer in himself. He will be missed.
Yeah.
So, we got our first look at the new suits, thanks to the toys, for Spider-Man No Way Home. Sonny, what are your thoughts so far? Because I know there was two. There was that all black, and then
The all black one and the one with like a bit of gold.
yeah, that one too.
I didn't really think much. I mean, I saw him. I was just like, okay, you know, a new movie. They're doing something else. I mean, I wasn't too blown away, but I'm not like mad about it. So, yeah, not too much. I don't have much of an opinion on that. What about you?
People are trying to be like, oh, the black suit is actually them trying to say Venom is part of Spider-Man universe, and it isn't just based around just Sony's solo Venom. Like, he's gonna be a part of it with what do you call it, Multiverse of Madness. And I'm just like, you guys are reaching really hard to get Venom into the MCU. Did you not see what happened with Topher Grace? Like, the first time they tried to interact.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Well.
But they did. I mean, the suits do look cool. They did that whole, what was it, Night Monkey, if I'm right, from the last movie. So I think there's gonna be like a total of 3 suits total in the new one. It's gonna be the one from the last movie, that new one he made with Stark Tech, and then the 2 new ones that we have no idea what they are, but everyone thinks it's gonna be Venom. So I don't know. Yeah, I really don't got much on them. They look kind of cool. I want to know what they do, or what they're for. So can't really do anything until seeing it.
Yeah.
On top of that,
And
we had. I'm just gonna find out if you care, because if you don't, we're moving on.
actually, about caring, I was gonna say that you never know because to me it doesn't look like I said, not too bad, not too good, but if it looked really bad, you never know. Something could happen, like with the character Sonic, when so many people complained about how he
Oh
looked.
yeah, that's a
The studio changed him.
great
Yeah.
point. Yeah, no, they changed that whole movie
Yeah.
essentially.
But it needed to change.
Yeah, but with that, we had the news that Tom Holland is actually dating. Was it Zendaya?
Yeah, yeah.
Do
Desire is
do we
dead.
care, or do you care?
I mean,
Does it affect
not
you
really.
directly?
Good for them if they're happy. Good. I just hope you never want to see anything when it's like, oh, so and so no longer wants to do scenes with
Yeah,
them, so now they're taking anybody
that's what
out.
I was thinking too. Is that's probably the hardest thing. I mean, I honestly, it doesn't shock me at all. I guess it doesn't bother me. It doesn't. I really have no care for it. But I mean, it's big news. Tom Holland. Aw.
Yeah, yeah. So like I said, if the movie can stay the same and there's no changes because of it, then I'm fine. Whatever. Good luck to them.
Right. So moving on to another controversial subject that is involving Harley Quinn again. And it is the fact that because it's DC Pride Month, and they're coming out with these covers that just are pride oriented. It's 2021. People get used to it, but an artist, I'm trying to remember his name because I didn't put it up, but he drew Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn kissing, which they've already established that in the comics that that's what they are now. They're a couple. They're a thing. There's no way around it. It's already in continuity. I mean, it's in Elseworld titles. It's in every other title, But DC went around them and basically made it look like Poison Ivy was kissing her cheek instead. So you just took someone's artwork, approved it, and then someone up, I guess, on top, like in the upper echelon, was like, not happening. Switch some stuff around, and they did, and they were blowing up Twitter about it because it is unfair. To me, it is. I mean, how we live now is you kind of just are used to it. It shouldn't be a bother anymore to me. But taking someone's art that they worked, you don't even know how many hours on, and changing it up because of one kiss is a problem. That makes no sense.
Yeah. And they've kissed before in other comics, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
So
there was the one right after she or Harley beat the crap out of Joker for being abusive to her. But that was okay. We saw that.
yeah. Yeah, see, I don't get why change it. Like I said, especially to change somebody's artwork, it is very insulting. And then, like I said, if they wanted, they could have talked with him, say, "Hey, do you think you can change this up?" But I don't see why the need to change it from a kiss on the cheek. I mean, excuse me, to change it from a kiss on the lips to say, "Oh no, let's make it on the cheek."
Right.
Like I said, it's insulting to that. And then obviously with it being Pride Month, and if you're gonna want to push to celebrate Pride, then don't get mad when an artist has two of the female characters kiss each other.
Yeah, I mean, how many, even in Batwoman, how many, I've seen it so many times. There's no, so it's okay for one, but not okay for the other. Is it, I don't know if it's because she's more mainstream or if there's a possibility of her having, that bigger following that everyone's like, yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah. Me, I don't think it was a smart move. And then, like I said, it's going to get a lot of people mad.
Oh, there's a lot of, I've been looking at the comments and how many times stuff's been retweeted about it. There's a lot of people that are very upset about it. I mean, even me, I was like, why that you just ruined that that artist for me. Not ruined him, but you ruined what he did. You took that credibility away from him.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And then now that makes him probably uncomfortable. Like when he works on something, the thought might be going through his head of, are they going to change my work? Should I not do this or that?
But
I don't want to feel like that again the way when they, changed my picture. So,
But like, and then you gotta think, how does that affect the rest of the comic book world as artists that are even just in the big two, Marvel and DC? How are they gonna perceive their work from that point forward? Are they gonna have to be more lenient and be like, okay, well, if that didn't work out, maybe I shouldn't do this, and then they got to rethink themselves. That it's not just because it happened to one doesn't mean everyone else isn't going to be affected by it.
yeah.
That's a whole community. That's that's everyone's commission, artist wise. That's everybody's cover. That's interior pages. Now they got to walk on eggshells because of one photo or one panel. It's probably the worst decision I've ever seen made.
Yeah, it was a bad one. It was not smart.
Not at all. But moving on again, we did get some cryptic photos from Hugh Jackman this week. Him with Kevin Feige, which everyone's been wanting Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine in the MCU, just even if it's a cameo. But he did post, like I said, a photo with Kevin Feige. He also posted, I don't know if you've seen the artist, Boss Logic. He does a lot of like the superhero kind of like, he did the first mock-up for The Rock as Black Adam.
Oh,
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he did one of, you just seen the arm and the claws of Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Is there, this whole multiverse of madness thing and Spider-Man No Way Home, it's getting a little blown out of proportion for me now. Like, at first I was hyped because you heard Jamie Foxx coming back as Electro in one. You heard that we're going to get the original Doc Ock back. Then we get Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield possibly returning as Spider-Man doing that. And then you hear about Doctor Strange where everything's open. And I mean, is there any, do you want to see him make at least a cameo?
I think it'd be cool. I really like Hugh Jackman. I'm a big fan of the X-Men. But like I said, I think a lot of it's getting blown out of proportion now. Every character, are they gonna be in there every time somebody says something? They're gonna try to put it with those two movies. And now I can only imagine how many fake movie trailers we're gonna see.
Right, and to me, if you're gonna introduce Hugh Jackman even as a cameo, you got to explain the mutants then. Like, there's no workaround. Like, if he's a part of it, you got to have something in there that solidifies there's mutants in the MCU, or at least surrounding. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
We're gonna do something a little bit fun right now. We're basically gonna come up with our own theories on how we think the mutants should enter if it's through the multiverse of madness. You want me to go first, Sonny?
Sure, take it away.
So my idea is simple. If you're gonna have Hugh Jackman come in and do a cameo, you should have somebody somehow capture him, and then maybe get a vial of his blood somehow. You know what I mean? So that way you can try to replicate what he is. Even if they use the Matt Striker, is it Matt Striker, right?
He's coming Striker.
Striker. I'm probably thinking wrestling because of that one dude, but Striker, you can use him in the MCU version and just be like, I didn't know he existed. I want to make him here, and then have that be a way to start it. It'd even be cool to see them steal like I said, a vial of blood from him, and then make X-23, and have her usher in that whole mutant aspect, get her going, because she hasn't gotten the credibility she deserves through the comics, at least. I think she's a great character. I think she'd fit in perfect anywhere with the whole mutant conglomerate that we got. Or just pull someone gets left, if they do the whole multiverse thing, have someone get left behind. Make it Deadpool. he's part of the whole Disney franchise now. He slips, like, you see Hugh Jackman leave, and then, portal closes, and Deadpool's back there like, what about me? You guys gonna send me back?
Yeah.
And then that's how you, like, open that door.
Okay. So that's from you?
Yeah, that's my kind of thought on it. There's so many ways you can go about it, but if you're gonna use the Multiverse of Madness, that'd be my doorway in.
Yeah. It's good how you mentioned Deadpool, because I remember I saw something after Stan Lee passed away, and how he always made the cameos.
Yeah.
Someone's like, oh, that'd be cool if they had Deadpool doing cameos.
Yeah, just waving
now.
in the background or something, or eating a hot dog,
So, that'd be a good way to do that. So for me, I was going to say, I would see something with Magneto, how the MCU already has the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, so they are his children. So it would be good to have something along the lines of they can meet Magneto through Scarlet Witch, and either he could be a villain for somebody, or even just have like some kind of conversation to kind of lead them into Magneto, and then they could lead to the others. But yeah, like I said, there's been so much you can do. Even like I said, those the Spider-Man and the Doctor Strange ones going into all the multiverses. They can come across almost anybody.
Right.
So like I said, obviously Wolverine would be really cool. But
yeah, I mean, even
for me, I'd say to maybe do it through Magneto, possibly a little bit through Xavier.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got. There's so many ways they could go about it. I mean, right now, even with the Loki TV show, without giving too much away, it is dealing with a lot with, playing around with the multiverse and consequences and what could happen, and all this other stuff. I won't go too much into it because I know you probably haven't seen it yet, but.
All right, yeah.
So that's my theory. I mean, I think yours is more sound, especially with the whole Magneto aspect, because yeah, you do got them established already. All you gotta do is change probably one or two things, and it's back.
Yeah.
So. All right. So
it'll be good to see it. How they bring in the X-Men to the MCU.
Right. So. My little surprise for Sonny. Now, it's not a big surprise. It's not a big surprise, but it's a little surprise. Last week, Sonny went on, a 20-minute plug of all of his books.
Not all, only like a small percentage.
Yeah, like 90.
10, like 9%.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Whatever you say, bud. But he did bring up the fact that I was writing for a while, and I did stop. I had my reasons. And Sonny kind of pushed me to want to start again, so just to let everyone know, I have been writing concepts up. I'm hoping to have something done within the next 2 to 3 months. That's my timeline for me. To have a sound, at least first issue of a comic, something everyone can see and read. I'm not too worried about the art right now, but just basically a story. That's what I'll put it out. I'll put it on our page when it's done, and you can blame Sonny for how horrible it's gonna be when I do it.
I'm glad to hear it, man. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. And now you said you gave yourself a time, so now everyone's gonna be wondering, hey, didn't he say within this many months?
They're gonna go back to episode 4 and be like, look at all that lagging back then. It was
yeah.
Oh yeah, he did say 2 to 3 months, didn't he?
All right, man. Well, good luck to keep on with it, and I'd like to hear that you're working on concepts and things like that.
Yeah, and now I guess Sonny wants to one up me and have a surprise of his own. So Sonny, what do you got for me, bud?
Oh, surprise! That'll come later with when we're doing the reviews and
oh dear God, okay.
A little after the reviews, yeah. So
we're going that route.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're on the topic of the week, which is one of my favorite segments that we actually do because, we talk about comics and we talk about comic book characters, so why not? This week's topic of the week. Now, when I posted it, it sounded right in my head. Basically, it was what character, hero or villain, would you move basically from DC to Marvel and from Marvel to DC? Now, I said that as one move to the other, and then vice versa. Not a trade, just who would you like to see in each universe. Everyone obviously thought that I meant let's just trade them. So we're going to go with the best answer so far for the top 3. And the first person I have is Dan Kelly, who says, I think it would be interesting to see the Joker as part of the Spider-Man's rogues. As for heroes, I'd move Nightwing over to Marvel. He would be completely out from under Batman's shadow and would fit in good with Marvel, which I think is a great answer. I do. Next up, we have Mark Hoon, who gave a short answer, which was basically a trade. Dr. Doom for Lex Luthor. He said, I think it would liven up both universes, which I do agree with. It'd be interesting to see. And then lastly, Alexander Para. Moon Knight swapped for Batman. DC would have to adopt a new moral compass, and Marvel would have a hero on par with the greatest masterminds. So, with those out the way, and thank all 3 of you guys for your answers, Sonny, if you could take one person from DC and put him in Marvel, who would it be? And if you could take one person from Marvel, I think I said that, and put him in DC, who would it be?
All right. So for me, for Marvel to DC, I would do Deadpool. I think Deadpool is always fun, and just to mention him, we've seen him with so many characters in Marvel. I think it'd be really fun to see him with DC characters, especially like Batman, like how Batman's serious, and I can just picture Deadpool getting inside of the Batcave and all the things he do and the jokes he can make with Batman.
Steal the
and all these
Batmobile.
TVs. Yeah, and I can only imagine what Batman would catch Deadpool watching on all the TVs.
Okay, yeah, I do like that pick.
So,
I really do.
Thank you. So my pick from Marvel to DC is Deadpool. My pick from DC to Marvel is the Joker. I would like to say the Joker, obviously always entertaining, always pretty crazy, and I can almost see him like Kingpin thinking he can get Joker to work for him, but you can't trust the Joker. The Joker's insane, and I would really like to see him more take on somebody, the Joker take on somebody like a Daredevil or Wolverine. But for me, the most person I would like to see the Joker face off with is the Punisher. I could see that just being like super violent all around and just all around entertaining, and I could see them really doing a lot of damage to one another.
That I would buy every issue and variant cover for that series if they did one like that.
Oh yeah.
They kind of did that whole Batman Punisher, and it wasn't Batman when they did it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was let down, but Punisher versus Joker would be outstanding.
Oh yeah.
So those are your picks?
That's my pick. Deadpool to DC and Joker to Marvel. How about you?
Oh, so the Marvel to DC, Marvel character to DC, I would have to go with Moon Knight. And a lot of people try to put Moon Knight as Marvel's Batman, which he really isn't. But Moon Knight has, I don't know if you ever read anything with Moon Knight. Have you?
No, I've been looking at which one to get because I was looking at some of the epic collections, but right now I have a lot to catch up on. But I need to get to beating Moon Knight soon.
I almost have everything Moon Knight related. So if you, after this, we'll talk about it. I'll show you where to go. But he has split personality disorder. He has 3 different personalities, and they all talk to him.
Nice.
I don't know how you would match that in the DC universe. He's kind of his own thing. He was with the West Coast Avengers for a while, but I don't know, him being in it would be like having Batman without his rules. Like his set of ways. There would be no don't kill him. It'd be like, if we gotta beat him, we gotta beat him. So I think that would be a good trade-off. And then for DC to Marvel, I'm going with Lex Luthor. And you know how amazing it would be to see him try to take over everything Doctor Doom has put together, or even him go after Kingpin and take everything that he has. That would be, I don't even know, it'd be astronomical in my opinion to see that happen. And then he's basically tried to beat Superman every which way. Who would stand up to hit, like who would be his downfall there? You know? So those are my picks. I would love to see those two happen. I mean, I would love to see a DC and Marvel crossover again, but I don't think we're ever going to see that for a while.
Yeah. And like I said, how you mentioned Lex Luthor, I think it'd be interesting to see him take on Reed Richards. You know, see where the
battle, just a
minds,
battle of the minds. Yeah, the sky's the limit if you switch him over there. Like, there's no way around it. So those were our picks. Thank you again to the people that actually
thank you.
Put out their answers, and we'll be posting the next one here shortly. Now, in to the reviews. So, I gave Sonny DCeased, written by Tom Taylor, and Sonny gave me Tales of the Teen Titans, The Judas Contract by Marv Wolfman. I think Sonny should go first on this one.
Okay. So for DCeased, I'm taking it off. Even though I'm doing the most talking, now is probably the time I'm going to lag the most.
Probably. Don't worry, they won't hear this on Spotify. Or they won't see it on Spotify. They'll just hear it.
Yeah.
Sonny has taken off his mask, by the way.
Yes, I took off my Spider-Man mask, and my whole face is visible. So, DCeased. Darkseid and DCeased, they take Cyborg, and they find out that to get the other half of the anti-life equation, they have to use Cyborg. The long story short, Darkseid gets it, and then it's too much for him. Well, he puts death into it. It's too much for Darkseid, and his brain explodes. He explodes. As they say, Darkseid was. Okay? And then Cyborg, but through the internet and everything, he is unknowingly spreading the virus. I'm not sure if you would call it really a virus or this thing. What's going on? He's spreading death, I'll basically say. He's spreading death around. So whenever you look at your phone, a TV, anything, and it's getting everybody.
Any technology, basically, anyone turns on or looks at.
Yep, any technology. So, it's taking everybody. The superheroes, obviously random people, and so all the heroes are teaming up, trying to figure out a way. They're trying to save their families. And throughout it, like I said, I thought it was really fun. It was action-packed. It was interesting to see everybody kind of dealing with all this, kind of zombie-fied almost. And then some heroes, you see them kind of be taken out pretty quickly from it. I was a little surprised at that. Like Aquaman, Hal Jordan don't last very long. But then you have your others like Superman's lasting long, Wonder Woman. And these characters are going on. And you basically see most characters from DC, most big ones. For me, it was a really fun story. I like the artwork a lot. I think it's one definitely if you want to see all different kinds of characters in DC. If you want to see your favorite superheroes, this is definitely a book to go to. You see everybody. It's not more story driven. For me, it didn't feel so like story driven. Like we knew, like I said, basically what it's about. Right. But it's kind of a lot of action here, action there. Who could survive? Who just got scratched, and now it's taken over them. And for me, it was fun. It was interesting. That's action-packed is one word I'll definitely say. And I felt with each issue, I was getting more into it. And then it was one of those ones where before I knew it, it was over. And I'm interested to see a little more what could happen. But for me, I felt the DCeased issue 5 was the most one that stood out for me. The second last one. Okay. Especially the ending. But the whole story overall, to me, it was a really good story, a really fun read. If you want something action-packed, with most of your favorite DC heroes and some villains too, I would recommend it. For me, like I said, it was a really fun read, and it's mainly why I read comics. I give it a 9.3.
Good score. Good score. Yeah, no, that we'll talk after because I'm trying to remember at the end of issue 5. I remember most of it. And definitely gonna try to give you the rest of the reading order for it because a lot more is explained later on.
All right, yeah, because it's a thing. When I finished it, I was like, okay, so the story is continued. It's not one of those ones.
No,
I was thinking like, oh, is it all gonna be solved? And it's
I think
not
there's
all solved.
5 DC stories altogether.
Okay.
So,
Do you mean just the regular one that says DCeased?
There's DCeased. The second one is DCeased Unkillables, I want to say.
Oh, okay. Stuff
which
like
is 3 issues that focuses on more Red Hood and what they're doing on the ground. And then there's DCeased 2, DCeased Dead Planet, and then there's one more where Black Adam's in it, and it's just I said Dead Planet, right? Yeah. So yeah, I was trying to think of the last one, but yeah, there's it's well worth the read, I would say. And as for me, Sonny, you again gave me a Judas Contract. Now I have seen every interpretation of that comic on the screen. So I've seen the cartoon, movie, what they've tried to do in, like Titans, like the TV or the Cartoon Network one.
I'll be back. 1 second.
Okay. There's Dexter for anybody that doesn't know.
And here we go.
I was just telling Dexter was trying to do the review for me now.
Here we go.
All right, yeah. Thanks for holding that up, bud. But like I said, I've seen almost every iteration of it, from Cartoon Network to their animated movie and I gotta tell you, Sonny, if you get a chance ever to watch Titans, season 2, is the adaptation of the Judas Contract. There's so much they switched a lot because time to change, but there's so much in it that is it, and I think that's the best Deathstroke we've seen ever up to this point. But getting into the book, it starts off with basically all them training. Dick Grayson's nowhere to be found really at the beginning of the book. We see Tara and everything that she's going through with training with Changeling at the time. It wasn't Beast Boy. Starfire, Cyborg, all of them. Which I do like Cyborg more now after reading this than I think I've ever liked him before. I think he's a Teen Titans character. I don't care what anyone says. I don't think he belongs to Justice League. But going through the book, it gives you the breakdown of how Slade became who he was. It's, how can I put it? The whole book is, to me, like one of the best older books I've ever read. Like arcs. Like everything was so well put together. I mean, Wolfman and Perez do an amazing job on whatever they touch. And I will give them that. But going forward with the story, most of the Titans go missing. Deathstroke shows up trying to capture or kill Dick Grayson. He gets out. He can't go back as Robin because everyone knows who Robin is. So he becomes Nightwing. And the first time we actually get to see it, he gives the whole monologue of how, Batman taught him this, but Superman used to talk about the Nightwings back, on Krypton and so on and so forth. Dick Grayson meets Slade's wife and his son, who is now Jericho. They talk about their past, what they went through. I couldn't put it down. I'm honestly shocked. So I don't want to give too much away at the end. If you haven't read it, 10 out of 10. And I think that's going to be the first time Sonny's actually going to be happy about something.
Flooding, yeah.
This review is not tough to do. It's just every issue had something where if I say it, it gives it away. And if no one's seen it, or like on any type of medium, like either movie or TV, like it gives too much. And I feel like you this week, where I'm like, yeah, it was great, 10 out of 10. It was that good. It's a little dated. There's a couple times where like Cyborg's talking about Michael Jackson and Donna Summers, and with Slade it was the Vietnam War and everything else. But with that, even with that datedness, it didn't take away from the drive of that story and how action packed did become, and every twist that happened. It was great. I loved it. So thank you for that, Sonny. I have, which is funny, the issue 44, which is the first appearance of Nightwing, and I've never read it. I just got it because I like Nightwing. And now that I read it through, I'm like, it means so much more to me now.
Good, man. Happy that you were able to enjoy it, because that's the Judas Contract is one of my favorite DC stories. So I'm like, I want to give you something that I think you'll like, and well, there you go.
Yeah.
It was 10 out of 10. And then, actually, the one I have is the deluxe edition. So It comes with a few issues before the actual Judas Contract. And
the lead up, kind of?
Yeah, the lead up that has Dick Grayson actually leave, or say he's done being Robin. He gives it up, and then it had the Wally West Flash leaving, saying he's done as well.
Yeah, because they did mention that when they were talking to Deathstroke, and they're like, what about the Robin, or what about Robin in Kid Flash? And he goes, Kid Flash ain't part of the Titans no more. If you want him, you're going to have to pay me more. And he's like, as for Robin, we're working on it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they were brought up, which is cool. And I did want to bring up something to you. There is one that I want you to check out because of the fact that you did bring up Judas Contract. I think it's like an 80-page, like oversized issue, but it's the Dark Multiverse Judas Contract. It's what happens if Dick Grayson stayed with the Titans instead of left them. Like one little thing, like kind of like that butterfly effect. One little thing changes the course of the whole story.
Okay, yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah, I'd like to check that out because, like I said, I love the story, and I like stories like that too. Those what ifs.
You'll love that. So
cool. And one thing I'd like to bring up too with the Judas Contract is I thought it was interesting how they called Deathstroke the Terminator in there.
Oh, it was all over. That was before his solo series, his first main solo series. And because after that, it was literally called Deathstroke the Terminator.
Yeah. And when I was looking up, like, why did it change or when did it change, they said it was really because of the Terminator movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. That they changed it because they didn't want they didn't want people to get confused. So Slade Wilson, the Terminator, became Slade Wilson, Deathstroke.
Right. So, but yeah. So, Sonny, I guess it's for the first time you're giving us a book that both of us are going to be reviewing.
All right. Well, I know you're excited. I know you've been expecting a certain classic. Spider-Man.
I can't hear you, bud.
Spider-Man, the original Clone Saga.
Oh, dear God. Yeah, if we do that, can you get a new co-host for that day?
I'm just messing around. So there was my joke. There's my surprise to you. Thinking you're gonna do that, but my real pick is Daredevil: Born Again by Frank Miller.
All right, cool. I can't wait to get into that one. That one I've heard so much about that book, but I've never had the chance to actually see it or read it. So I'm excited to actually dive into that one.
Yeah, I'm excited to go over it with you. I'm excited to have you read it. It's a pick I think you should definitely read, and we'll see how it goes. So, no Spider-Man Clone Saga, at least yet. Maybe one day. But
that's when we get down to we don't have anything else left. What do we pick? Clone Saga.
who knows? And maybe your birthday, man. Happy birthday.
Yeah, here you go.
All right. So there you go. The next one was Daredevil Born Again.
All right. And that is the episode for this week. Don't forget to tune in next week at 5 for the pre-show, 5:30 for the main show. Sonny will be hosting. We're going to keep taking turns until everyone's sick of us taking turns. Don't forget to follow us on our YouTube channel where we post this awesome laggy video. Well, not this one because Sonny had his mask on the entire time. Over at the Codex Podcast. Make sure to check us out on Spotify, Google Podcast, and everywhere else you can find our podcast in general at the Codex Podcast. Thank you guys again. This has been another great week. Hopefully my eyes healed up and I feel a lot better for next week's episode because this week I did not. But again, guys, thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right, see you guys next week.
All right.